He was a killer with a cold, calculated plan to eliminate a beloved couple. But this wasn't a sick fantasy. His deadly intentions didn't stay on paper.
Ready?
Yep.
This is Inside the Crime, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Elizabeth Millner. Well, true crime teaches you one thing pretty fast. Strangers can get in way too easily. Your name, phone number, even address are just floating around for scammers and identity thieves to scoop up. But our sponsor, Incogni, is here to protect your data online. Incogni tracks down all the places where your info might have been exposed, then fights to get them removed. I thought I was safe, but turns out my info was being shared on old search databases. With Incogni, getting it is super easy. Just make an account and authorize them to do the rest. And if you know specific sites, submit them with their new unlimited plan's custom removals feature, and Incogni privacy experts will personally tackle them. Take your privacy back with Incogni. Go to incogni.com/inside and use code INSIDE for 60% off an annual plan. The victims were deeply loved in their community. Their decades-long business even helped hold the town together. So who would have the motive to murder them? Well, detectives say it was someone very close to them. It's March 18th of 2023. We're in the town of Wolf River in Winnebago County, Wisconsin. Around 5:15 that morning, a mysterious caller dialed 911, then just hung up. But deputies responded to the address where the call came from. One deputy recognized immediately this was the home of Jan and David Metzig. They were the owners of Union Star Cheese Factory, a business the couple owned and operated since 1980. When deputies first responded to the home, there was no answer, so they went to the Union Star Cheese Factory right nearby.
Those two have the opposite corners. We have two corners.
These yours?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Lisa and I can move around them and take the other corner.
Try to get a perimeter just opposite corners.
Yeah.
38 squad, you pick up John out of 39 squad.
John out of 39 squad.
Yeah, we should put
Up front.
44, who's the next one up?
Hey, Mook, can you run up and grab him?
Yeah, I'll go and get him.
26, I'm just pulling up. Can you meet so I can?
No.
There was still no sign of David or Jan. Deputies were able to get in contact with their son, John, who said his parents should be home. When John arrived, he entered the home and found his parents in the bedroom. But it was a scene no one could have ever imagined.
Might have left his phone.
I told Susie to get
Where the hell they
Grease somewhere.
kick the ambulance and everybody else loose. She's there. She's the supervisor out there. So. Okay.
So,
put the equipment back in the very
where's Staley? Staley around here? What's up, Pindy? Just put yourself in the crime scene long and stay warm.
Jan and David were covered in blankets with bags over their heads, and they were dead from what appeared to be gunshot wounds. But who could kill this innocent couple? We learned through their obituary that Jan and David had been married for nearly 50 years. They got married in 1973, and over the course of their relationship, they raised 5 sons in a home right above their cheese factory. According to a 2023 article from USA Today, the town of Wolf River had a population of a little more than 1,200 people, and all of them know about Union Star because they employ many residents from that area. For some, it was their first job. For others, they loved it so much they kept coming back part-time, even after retirement. But the roots of the cheese factory are deep within the Metzig family, and Henry Metzig first bought the factory back in 1911. So of course the question was, who could have done this? Jan and David's son John revealed to deputies his brother Erik lives at home, and he should be there too. But Erik was nowhere to be found, and his car was missing from the property. Deputies executed a search warrant where they found chilling evidence that the killer seemed to leave behind. An AR platform rifle was on the kitchen table with a loaded magazine inserted. John reportedly told investigators Erik recently was showing a lot of interest in weapons, and he believed his brother did something terrible to their parents. As the home was processed for evidence and other clues, deputies reportedly located a small amount of blood in the third stall area of the garage, along with bloody glasses, a checkbook, wallet, and pile of clothes. That stall is where Erik normally parked his car, and his car was the only one missing. Shortly after, a call came in from a staff member at a YMCA in Kimberly, Wisconsin, nearly 30 miles away. The caller said a suspicious man was wandering around the parking lot. Then he came inside the building and went into the shower area. When a staff member went to check out what was going on, the man was lying on a bench in the men's locker room with a towel behind his head. The staffer reportedly told deputies that man was upset about his family and that he was looking for an apartment, but apartments were expensive. Well, the staff member suggested for the man to wait in the lobby, and while leaving the locker room, that's when police arrived, who confirmed that mystery man was Erik Metzig.
It was all up. There was a dog in there, so it was all up. So we ended up treating this like an active shooter.
So I'm like, no gun. I was like, let's go. So we ran inside. We actually met him being escorted out by his staff.
Oh, really?
And right in the hallway, just like, took me custody.
That is interesting behavior.
He was actually very calm, very cooperative. So where did the homicide take place? What is it? Township, village, or
Township. Way out in the sticks.
really?
Yeah.
What township is that?
So it wasn't that far out in the sticks. You didn't have to go into Fremont to come back down.
I just saw you at a Fremont address.
But basically, you just take Winchester all the way out. And you go Zitlow or Zidow. Zidow, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it's out there. Yeah, so apparently, like, when COVID happened, he lost his job down in Madison, and he's been living up here ever since. But I'm guessing working, because they own the cheese place or whatever in Zidow,
Really?
Union Star. Yeah, it's them.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So ready to take it? All right. We'll do changeover.
Ready?
Yep.
Heather, let's step out the car.
You want to just hang on your time for a second?
Turn around. You want to put yours on?
Yep.
And then we'll move mine out. It'll be easier if we just take it off at a time.
Yeah. What's your name again, sir?
Erik Metzig.
You're Erik? Okay. Alright, so we're going to keep your palms facing inward, alright? You gotta keep your wrists turned like this. It's gonna be uncomfortable, I know. But if you don't, then the cuffs are gonna move around on you, and then it's gonna be really uncomfortable. Alright, I know my partner in brown here already searched you. Do you have anything else on you?
No, sir.
I think your partner's there with the bag of items.
Sweet. Does he have any items that you guys had on this person?
They're in his pockets.
Okay.
Or okay.
Yeah, $50 in cash. Whatever this red thing is. Is that your wallet?
It's the card holder for. Yes, sir.
Nothing else? That's all you should have?
I believe so. Yes.
Your pants are falling down. I'm going to hike them up, okay? Good? All right, we're going to go to my car now.
It was that wallet that was in the pocket, was it?
That red thing is his wallet. It's a card holder. All right. So we're on to this blue one right here. You're going to go on this side. All right, good?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
According to the criminal complaint, a search warrant was executed on Erik's car. Detectives located red smears on the driver's side visor and the roof liner above the driver's seat. When officers first encountered Erik, you can see him wearing yellow-tone glasses, one that detectives say were typically worn at gun ranges.
All right, Erik, we're gonna go for the walk.
Okay.
Keep walking. You're gonna follow these gentlemen.
Come right this way.
You can have a seat.
Cuffs off. He's been cooperative with us.
Why don't you just hold on a second? Have them take a seat, if you can. My name is Detective Hammond. I work with the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office.
The full interrogation couldn't get underway just yet because one, Erik refused to talk, and two, within an hour, deputies had to take him to the hospital to get him cleared medically.
So have you seen a doctor or psychiatrist or anything?
Is this?
This is just questions that we're asking you for the jail, because the jail's going to ask you these questions too.
Okay.
So for the booking form, they're going to ask you the same things.
It'll just be a minute. There's only one phlebotomist here today, so she's doing other things. So
That's fine.
I just want to know what, like, in terms of, for my own sake, what my rights are. In terms
Are
of,
you
like,
going to withdraw from anything, or is there going to be a medical emergency in the jail if you're not telling us what your medical conditions are? That's what we're trying to prevent.
There will not be any medical emergencies.
Okay.
There are things that do significantly help me, like taking.
Are you prescribed it?
No.
I was asking because what are you prescribed? That's what I understand that could help you out, and you're kind of like self-medicating with that. But that's what we got. What we need on the booking form is like what you are prescribed. It's something that, so that we could go and get you medications that you need while you're in custody at the jail. If you're not prescribed that, we're probably not going to be able to get you that. All right.
I understand. I'm done the homework, and except for some of these things, it's like for like sleep disorders and things.
Yeah.
So you have to go see it. They have to diagnose you with a sleep disorder,
Yeah.
but it's also very helpful for other things,
Yeah.
and it seriously makes.
No, I get it. If that helps you, that helps you.
And especially if I'm going to need to be.
Have you tried getting a doctor to prescribe that to you?
I never took because I would just thought I would have to just lie and pretend I had a sleep disorder.
Oh.
But it is very important that I'm able to think clearly, and it does help me, and it's not.
Yeah. We probably won't be able to supply that to you in the jail, though. Okay, if it's not prescribed.
Even
Just letting you know.
But like just the what was basically on my person at the time today, or
If it doesn't have your name on it, no. That's how we can't be giving you stuff that a doctor hasn't prescribed to you. Because then we would be held liable. But that kind of makes sense to you?
yes.
Okay. Secondly, are you suicidal at all?
No.
Okay. When the other officers first put handcuffs on you, did they use any kind of force or anything? Were you injured?
No.
Okay.
I have the handcuffs are tight. I know that's how they are. I mean that's just.
They're not made for comfort.
Yeah, I understand, so.
I get it. We've all been in them too. We all train in them, and
Yeah.
we know what it feels like.
get tased?
Yep.
2 hours before you did? Okay.
Yeah.
You used to. You don't have to anymore now. You kind of get shunned if you don't get tased, though. So.
It's highly encouraged.
Yes.
I hear that the biggest danger is just not getting tased itself, but falling backwards. Like if you hit your head on like the sidewalk or something when you're tased.
Yeah.
I've heard that
could
is
hurt.
the indirect thing, but also some people just don't seem to be immune from like just videos I've seen on YouTube and stuff. I don't know, but
Yeah. Yep. I'd rather get tased than OC sprayed though.
That lingers for hours.
I'm gonna make you guys just check over the sheet, make sure everything looks good.
Works for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
This one's all trash.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know that I've ever done that before. This was the first for everybody. We did it since the dinosaur ages, so. Sorry.
Oh, hold on. Did you put it in the box?
Yep, it's in the box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or in the bag, I should say.
Nope, I did not put it in the bag. I've never really put it in the bag because they go fit in the slots.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
If you never do that before, it's just old blood kit
Okay. Yeah, these are.
or different blood kits. I don't know. Everything's cheap.
All right. There's that.
I know.
Okay, that is yours.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right.
You want me to just go ask him to get this test for him?
Yeah.
This is your guys's. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, actually, they'll probably want a copy of this. Or you got your employer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. We got his blood in the kit, and then on the warrant it also says urine. They don't do urine here. They said, they don't encounter it often. They don't take it and test it unless he's registered as an ER patient. So they could. All right, so we don't need to collect it then. Sounds good. No, he's got nothing really for medical clearance that he needs it. All right. Sounds good. Yep, thank you. Bye. We good?
Oh, we don't want it? Alright.
Yeah, I guess it was just case he was admitted or getting clearance.
Yeah.
You got the kit? Yeah.
Alright, stand up.
Erik Metzig was ultimately charged with 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, and he was held in the Winnebago County Jail. According to testimony during a preliminary hearing, investigators laid out a lot of evidence they had against Erik. It was not only the red smears found in his car, which did turn out to be blood, but they also found a 9mm Glock handgun in the garbage. That was traced back to Erik. But the biggest shocker was investigators revealing Erik might have been planning his parents' murders for a while. A spiral notebook was found in Erik's bedroom. It detailed plans of him wanting to eliminate his parents by causing an accident while David and Jan were on a walk. Now, the case would never go to trial. By August of 2024, Erik pleaded no contest to his parents' murders. Each count carried a mandatory life sentence, so it was up for a judge to decide if Erik will be eligible for parole. But the case still worked its way through the court system for years. Right before sentencing, which was supposed to happen back in October of 2024, Erik's attorney filed a motion to withdraw his pleas, claiming there was evidence he was a sexual assault victim. Erik alleged that his dad sexually abused him, so there was a delay on his sentencing pending an investigation. Then Erik's attorney withdrew from the case due to a conflict of interest. In a reply to the defense's motion, prosecutors said Erik's allegations were false, as they pointed to his statements he made during his police interviews. And according to a court filing, Erik wrote this message from jail to his sister-in-law. "I just wrote a letter to the court that is not true. I falsely claim mom and dad sexually abused me. I did so at the recommendation of other inmates I am incarcerated with. I am sorry. Mom and dad did not sexually abuse me." In August of 2020, 2025, the judge ruled Erik could not withdraw his pleas because the judge found Erik had, quote, knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered his pleas, and that his abuse allegations were not credible. By October 17th of 2025, Erik faced the judge once again, this time for sentencing. When it came time for him to finally say his part, let's just say he used all of his time blaming anyone and everything else besides himself.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is so much to say after 2.5 years of this whole excruciating process for everyone involved. It might be better for someone in my position just at a time like this just to shut up and say nothing, but there is so much for me to say, and it's really appreciated that finally have that chance. I can talk about what happened, why it happened, what I was thinking, what was influencing me. I can address, I have deeply read and considered all of the victim impact statements and the pre-sentence investigation. I can address almost every sentence of both of those. And it's tough to know even where to start, but my parents were making me mentally ill, and I had sought out help specifically with them both immediately and sometime prior to the offense. So, for example, when I was immediately prior to the offense, I was on a trip with my parents in Israel. I had sought out emergency contact services about my parents because I was concerned about them. I literally reached out to the emergency services and said, I'm very, very concerned about my parents. There's something, I really need help with them. I tried to keep as much distance from them as possible. A year prior to the offense, I had reached out to a family friend and expressed to him how unsafe and how concerned I was about my parents for my own safety. I asked him if I could move in with them. When I had been seeing my clinical psychologist, we had had discussions, and he had pointed out to me how my parents were causing me to be depressed, causing me to be mentally ill. And that is something that, at the time that the offense occurred, I was severely mentally ill. I was mentally ill to the point of hearing voices. And I think anyone who has seen me, the discovery, has read related materials, has noticed my behavior, would obviously include that. And when you are mentally ill, it's very, what is or is not a reasonable action changes dramatically. Because if you can't, despite your efforts, if you can't live on your own or hold down a job or safely live on your own, then the options of what is a reasonable action for an individual, the calculus changes. And I was suffering the malign influence of prescription medication that I did not want to take. Due to the antidepressant medication I was given, I was more irritable and aggressive than I've ever been. And that was something that I was not even aware of at the time. I was not consciously aware of that. It was after I was speaking with my attorney, Seaman, he said, anyway, that was a medication that I'm certain that if I had not been taking that, this never would have happened. And that was a medication that I did not want to take, that I'm not going to throw, but a doctor recommended that I take that, and I knew at the time it was a bad idea, but I still took that. And there's a huge and growing scientific literature about the link between antidepressant medication and active, or I can't say the word, but irritability, aggression, outbreaks of violence. So I had sought out, I was genuinely concerned about my parents. I had sought out help about them both immediately and sometime prior to the offense. I called the police on myself, and frankly, the allegation that this was motivated by greed or money, just think about how would that work out. I don't even know. I know the prosecutor's job is to say the worst things imaginable, but it just, something like that makes me less safe. It further harms relationships with the family. And ironically, the referencing the Menendez brothers case, well, the prosecutor actually followed the script of that case, first saying, well, this is motivated by greed and money, which is not. I won't even but I've read, and again, maybe better for me to not say anything, but I've read the pre-sentence investigation. I could respond directly to that woman's recommendation. Her recommendation, first of all, that woman failed to understand that there are multiple motives for sentencing. There's punishment, there's deterrence, there's containment, rehabilitation. That woman didn't seem to comprehend that there could be more than one purpose for a sentence, and her recommendation was just based on, she said the impact on the family and the community is immense. Just neglecting that there are, again, other things to consider with the sentence. The pre-sentence investigation, she said that my odds of having a support network are low, which 20, 25 years from now, none of us know what the world's going to be like. For her to try to make some sort of prediction about that is just really sticking her neck out there, I think, to say the least. Again, I've read and taken the time to think about all the victim impact statements, and I can't speak to all of them. I can tell you for sure, at least some of the victims, things that they claim simply aren't true. One of the victims, she said she was so traumatized that when I went looking, they didn't know who I was going looking for next, which did not ever happen. You know how after the offense happened, I got with the dog and I drove to the YMCA. I was not looking for anyone else. I was not out for anyone else. The idea that I need to be, that I pose a threat to someone's children is very silly, in my opinion. Another one of the victims, she references an event where, and this is just, one of the victims, she claims that she thinks that I have some sort of, she's worried I'm going to commit hate crime against Jews. I promise in my life I've never spent any time. It's very silly. It's unfortunate that someone's wasting our time with that. And also, let's see. I was mentally ill to the point of hearing voices. I mean, Attorney Stephen was genuinely convinced that this would be an NGI plea. It was not wasting people's time, but I mean, it is a perfectly valid thing to consider doing this event, to pursue that. What else? And yeah, this obviously been an excruciating experience for the whole family, unfortunately, and but. I guess that's.
Erik Metzig continued on even after that, but the judge didn't seem to buy his excuses for killing both of his parents.
Court must consider the personality, character, or social traits of the defendant. Here, the defendant was somewhat reclusive. His behavior was getting stranger in the days and months leading up to the crimes. Court must consider the viciousness or aggravated nature of the crime. Here it was extremely vicious. It was attacking victims while they slept in their beds in a most vulnerable state. Court must also consider the degree of the defendant's culpability. Here there is very little culpability. There's some victim blaming, some medication blaming, but very little remorse is being shown.
While Erik's defense attorney was hoping for a max sentence of 25 years, the judge decided Erik was going to get not one, but 2 life sentences that'll run back to back. Online records show Erik Metzig is serving his sentence in the Waupun Correctional Institution in Wisconsin. As for the Union Star Cheese Factory, it's still open and operational and now reportedly being run by Jan and David's other son, John. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Inside the Crime. I'm Elizabeth Millner.